Orr peers in. The left-hander gets his sign, straightens to the set, checks the runner. The 1-2 pitch, a fastball inside, and it hits Gomez as he turns away. Hits him up under the left shoulder, seemingly. Gomez no worse for the wear, tosses the bat aside, heads to first. That loads the bases, and to some degree it eases the decision for the Railcats because now they have a force at home. So any ball that's hit to an infielder, unless it's one of those balls hit right toward the bag at second where you can step on second and go to first for an easy double play, any ball that's hit to an infielder, that infielder should be going home with his throw. Mario Delgado, the batter, 1 out of 4. He singled his last time up. The pitch by Orr swung on and skied foul out of play to the left, 0-1. Delgado clearly well aware of the situation here. He was trying to put a swing on that ball in an effort to hit it into the air. Clarity in left field is very shallow. Brown shallow in center. Thompson may be a little bit deeper in right than one would normally be in this situation. But, of course, it's tougher to throw out a man scoring from third from right field. The 0-1 pitch, a swing and a miss, and a breaking ball away. And Delgado has put himself in the hole, 0-2. Delgado, with a 1 hit in 4 trips in tonight's ball game, has lowered his average to .343, down 2 points on the night. 4 homers, 24 runs batted in. Big burly left-hander circling the bat of the pitcher, Benjamin Orr. The Railcats reliever with the bases loaded and 1 out in a tie game of the ninth comes to the set. The 2-strike pitch, breaking ball swung on, ground ball towards second. Edwards charging, fielding, throwing home for the force play. And that is the second out of the inning as Olsen is forced at home. Ball hit too slowly for any relay and any chance at a double play. McCallum moves up to third. Gomez to second. Delgado reaches first on a fielder's choice. 4-2 on the putout. The force at home. No tag necessary with the runners forced to advance. So now 2 outs, and Brant Brown is the batter. And Schomburg initially failing to get the runner in from third with less than 2 outs. Brown 1 out of 3, singled his last time up. The stretch by the left-hander, Benjamin Orr. The kick and pitch to the plate. A breaking ball right on the black on the outside corner, strike 1. Perfect pitch to open up the at-bat against Brown. Brown has struck out, walked, bounced to first, and singled to center. 1 out of 3 today, and batting .229 on the season. Pause and the 0-1 pitch to Brown. A fastball missing shallow and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brown, a left-handed batter, or a left-handed pitcher. Bases loaded, and 2 outs in the ninth, or trying to push this game through the door to extra inning. The 1-1 pitch in on the fist, check swing, caught foul off of the mask of the home plate umpire, Randy Hoback. It's 1-2 for Nate Pinto as that ball came off the batter, off of his bat, and went straight back to the umpire's match. Nate Pinto turned around and gave the foul tip signal to remind the umpire that it wasn't one that he missed, but rather a foul. Of course, a wild pitch would end the game. The 1-2 pitch swung on and popped up shallow center field. Long run, shortstop Clemente going out. Coming in the left fielder, Flaherty calling, and he makes the catch. Flaherty, a long run from left field, comes in to make the play. Brant Brown is out on the pop fly, and the side is retired. Credit Benjamin Houdini Orr from getting this game to extra innings. A great escape for Orr to get through the ninth without allowing a run to score. No runs on 1 hit. A walk and a hit. Batsman helped load the bases, but then Orr got 2 outs to escape trouble. We'll play some extra baseball tonight here at Alexian Field. Our score, the Railcats 4 and the Flyers 4. This is Railcats Baseball.
120 credit hours, 51 textbooks, and the perfect way to pay for it all.
Army National Guard.
As a member of the Army National Guard, you don't have to worry about how you're going to pay for college.
100% of your tuition.
The Guard has you covered. So come visit the team who can help you get through college on the web at 1-800-GO-GUARD.com or call 1-800-GO-GUARD in the Army National Guard.
You can.
Sponsored by the Indiana National Guard.
Aired by the Indiana Broadcasters Association and the station.
It's a wake-up call. It's time to get serious about preparation and to understand that the threat is very real.
This is a message from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, recorded by Roger Kilfoyle, New York City firefighter. The topic, getting serious.
It's irrelevant where you live or how many people live in your community or other variables like that. It's America. America's the target, not just New York. We know there are some positive things that you can do to better prepare yourself and your family. It's simple steps to prepare yourself for events that may be out of your control. So, having these little supplies together, you can prepare for problems that may happen.
Learn to be prepared at www.ready.gov or call for a free brochure, 1-800-BE-READY. That's 1-800-237-3239. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Here we go to the 10th inning. Some extra baseball tonight from Alexian Field in Schaumburg. Railcats 4 and Schaumburg 4. Brett Weber on for second inning work for the Flyers. Jason Hill, first pitch swinging, goes the opposite way and hits a ground ball through the whole right side. A leadoff single for Jason Hill. Hill's second hit of the night, the 12th hit for the Railcats in this ball game. Hill with a leadoff base hit to right field. That's the second time today that he has reached leading off an inning. The Railcats leadoff batters have done an outstanding job getting on base. They have reached base now 6 times in 10 plate appearances today. Tim Flaherty, the batter, with a runner at first. Weber to the set. The pitch to Flaherty is a ball low. It's 1-0. Flaherty 2 hits in 3 trips with a walk. He scored a run. Batting average right now at .222. 10 homers, leading the league, 26 RBI. The 1-0 pitch is a fastball strike called on the inside corner. A ball and a strike. Flyers and the Railcats playing an extra inning ball game for the 3rd time head-to-head. This is the 7th extra inning ball game for Schaumburg. They are 4-2 in extra baseball. The 1-1 pitch is low for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Railcats, meanwhile, in extra innings for the 5th time, 2 wins and 2 losses. They've lost their only road extra inning ball game. That was a week ago Sunday in Kansas City. 2 balls and a strike to Flaherty, who in that ball game had a couple of home runs. The stretch by the right-hander in the 2-1 pitch. Fastball, a strike call, the slider on the outside corner. Evens the count 2-2 to Tim Flaherty. Big right-handed slugger for the Railcats. Flaherty stands 6'4" and 220 pounds. One of the strongest players you'll ever see. 2-2 pitch is a slider inside corner called strike 3. Flaherty is out on strikes. Striking out for the 2nd straight at-bat. Hill remains at first. 1 out and the batter, Rene Pinto. Pinto's 2-run double in the 6th inning made it a 3-2 ball game. His only hit in 4 at-bats today. Pinto batting .271 with 4 homers and 20 runs batted in. Down in the Railcats bullpen, a right-hander was getting loose, but now everyone's just standing around watching. Here's the pitch to Rene Pinto. It is a fastball low, ball 1-0. Weber coming back from shoulder surgery a couple of seasons ago, kept him out all of last year. But his velocity, not bad. He just hit 89 miles an hour with that fastball. Weber, his right foot planted squarely in the middle of the pitching rubber. Comes to the set, checks the runner over at first. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Pinto swings and rips a foul up over the top of the Railcats dugout and up into the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike. The mist continues to hang in the air here at Alexian Field. Wind is blowing right to left, according to flags atop the scoreboard in left center field. But if you look at the United States flag on the flagpole out beyond right center, and it appears as though it's blowing in towards the batter. Ball and a strike to Rene Pinto.
Stretch by the right-hander. 1-1 pitch, a fastball in the dirt, blocked by the catcher, Kirk Pierce. 2 balls to the strike to Pinto. Back and forth. This game is gone. Schaumburg jumped out to a 3-0 lead. After 3, Railcats tied it with 3 in the 6th. Schaumburg a run in the bottom of the 8th. The Railcats a run in the top of the 9th. And then a great escape by the Railcats defensively in the bottom of the 9th to send the game to extra inning. Spin and a throw over to first, and Hill, who has a stolen base tonight, but it was going from second to third with 2 outs on a left-handed pitcher, back to the bag safely. Spencer Miller down there, who is limbering up for the Railcats, hoping that his offense can produce the run so he can have a chance to get Benjamin Orr a win and himself a save. The stretch by the right-hander with the 2-1. Pinto swings. It's a 2-out ground ball to shortstop. Fielded by McCallum. Backhand flip to second for 1. Gomez will relay to first in time. A double play. Pinto grounds into a 6-4-3 double play. That is the 3rd double play the Railcats have grounded into tonight. 2nd time that Pinto's done it. 1 hit, nobody left for the Railcats in the top of the 10th. Still tied. Railcats 4, Schaumburg 4. This is Railcats baseball.
Man, you could run your mouth.
That's about my face. I'm only going to tell you once.
You ain't gonna do nothing.
I'll drop you once.
Man, what's your feelings? You ain't got the guts.
Man, I'm going to drop you, man. Man, I'm going to drop you.
Do it.
Violence is a serious issue that needs to be dealt with. Last year in Michigan City, there were 5 assaults involving the use of handguns.
Railcats and the Flyers knotted up 4-4 as we go to the bottom of the 10th inning here at Alexian Field. Benjamin Orr to face Kirk Pierce, B.J. Garrison, and Josh Gray here in the 10th inning for the Flyers. Railcats and the Flyers opening up a 3-game set here at Alexian Field. Railcats return to U.S. Steel Yard in Northwest Indiana. 4 games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the other Chicago area rival, the Joliet Jackhammers. For tickets, log on to the web at railcatsbaseball.com or stop by the U.S. Steel Yard ticket office. Left-hander Benjamin Orr kicks and fires. The first pitch is a ball low, 1-0. Orr, in 2 innings of work, has faced 12 batters. He's allowed 4 hits, but only 1 run. And as a result, his ERA down to 7.71 on the year. The pitch to Pierce swung on, line over the glove of the left-handed, or the third baseman, rather, Franco, and down the left field line. Flaherty over to field it, fires it back towards second, but not before Pierce pulls in with a stand-up double, his 3rd hit of the night. League tying 14th double of the year for Kirk Pierce. A leadoff double to left. Pierce with the 10th Schaumburg hit of the ball game, and so the Flyers now with another fundamental opportunity to win the ball game. They failed to drive in a run with a man at third and less than 2 outs, with the score tied 4-4 in the 9th. Now here in the 10th inning, the score tied 4-4. Runner at second. If the Flyers can get him over and then get him in, they'll have won the game here in the 10th inning. B.J. Garrison, the battery, squares to bunt and bunts it foul. Left side, 1 strike. As Garrison stepped in the on-deck circle along with Pierce before the inning started, Schaumburg manager Andy McCauley came by and he talked with Garrison. He was likely giving Garrison a predetermined plan of attack, saying, if Pierce gets on base, here's what we're going to do. So the idea already firmly planted in Garrison's mind. McCauley runs through some signs anyway. The corner infielders ready to charge. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It is bunted out back toward the mound, trying to barehand it. Orr unable to make the pickup, and now as he picks it up a second time, spins and fires over to first late. Garrison is safe. Pierce goes over to third on the sacrifice, and an error charged to the pitcher, Benjamin Orr. Of course, the ball slippery after being bunted into the wet grass, and Orr trying to make a barehanded pickup, hoping to have some chance to move the ball to third. But with this wet grass, of course, it's very difficult to try and get a bunt play made. Here's the pitch to the next batter, Josh Gray. It is a ball inside 1-0. It's very difficult to get a bunt to not die in the grass. It's a very good situation for a bunter. If he can get that bunt in the grass and get it down, he's likely going to advance the runner. The 1-0 pitch, the runner going from first, but the Railcats with the infield drawn in, not paying him any mind. And they allow Garrison to go to second on what will likely be scored pitchers and defensive indifference, and the official scorer concurs. No steal, he says. So runners at second and third, infield still drawn in. The 2-0 pitch swung on, bounced foul. And the count, 2 balls and a strike to Josh Gray. Runners at second and third and nobody out. In this situation, if you get 1 out, some managers will then like to go ahead and put the next man on in an effort to set up the force at any base. Here's the 2-1 swung on, and Sky down the right field line, slicing foul, and out of play up against the fence that guards the seating berm. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Josh Gray. Gray, since coming into the ballgame 0-for-2, he struck out and bounced to third. Gray, 6'3", 210, 22-year-old outfielder waiting. The 2-2 pitch swung on, fouled back into the netting. Count remains 2-2 to Josh Gray. Gray, an apparent brand new addition to the Flyers. He's not even listed in the game notes. In fact, he's listed as being signed today by Schaumburg. Here's the 2-2 pitch. It is high and outside, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Josh Gray, in his first game of the Flyers, a chance to drive in the winning run. The runner at third, Pierce. Garrison down at second. 3-2 pitch, in on the fists and fouled away. Gray remains alive, 4 fouls in the at-bat. And the count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Schaumburg trying to nail down another extra inning victory, which would be their 5th of the year. Pause by Orr, and the 3-2 pitch. Change up, swung on and missed. Strike 3. He got him. Gray is out on strikes. More good work by Benjamin Orr. Now let's see how the Railcats play the situation. You got Michael Futrell, the left fielder due up, who is 0-for-4 tonight. Futrell has bounced out to infielders 3 times and been called out on strikes. His batting average with the 0-for-4 down to 191. On deck, Chris Olson, who is 2-for-2 with a pair of walks. The pitch to Futrell. A breaking ball down low in the dirt. Ball 1. They're pitching to it. So in this situation, it's not unheard of to go ahead and walk a man to load the bases and set up a force at any base. Railcats using that force at any base to get the second out in the 9th inning this game. Infield drawn in, outfield in as well. The 1-0 pitch swung on, line to left field. Flaherty coming on, can't get there. The ball drops in on 1 hop. The runner, Pierce, scores from third, and Schaumburg wins 5-4. Mike Futrell, the game-winning RBI single, driving in his 11th run of the year. RBI single to left, lays the winning run, and the Flyers outlast the Railcats 5-4, the final in 10 innings. In the 10th, the Flyers scored 1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 error, but the run is still earned against Benjamin Orr, and they left technically 2 men on base. Schaumburg wins the opening game of the series, 5-4 the final at Alexian Field. Back with the final totals in a moment on Railcats Baseball.
I started out taking 1 to 2. I ended up taking 7 to 10. Nothing goes the way that people expect it to go. You don't remember things you're doing. Your body hurt. You're just worn down. With ecstasy, it was like one day I was healthy and had an immune system, and the next day I didn't. I would wake up sometimes like shaking. It's physically painful. Once I hit my absolute bottom emotionally and mentally, I just wanted to die.
A message from the American Red Cross and the Partnership for a Drug-Free Indiana and America.
Times change, and business tools change too. We traded in our...
Schaumburg Flyers defeat the Gary South Shore Railcats 5-4, the final in 10 innings tonight at Alexian Field. Here are the final totals for the Schaumburg Flyers: 5 runs, 11 hits, no errors, and 11 men were left on base. The winning pitcher, Brett Weber, vulturing a victory, improving to 2-1. For the Gary South Shore Railcats, 4 runs, 12 hits, 2 errors, and 8 men stranded. Losing pitcher Benjamin Orr falls to 0-2. Time of the game, 3 hours, 35 minutes. A game that was delayed 33 minutes at the start by rain in front of a Tuesday night crowd of 2,246 here at Alexian Field in Schaumburg. The Flyers beat the Railcats for the 5th time in 7 games between the two teams this season. Final score, Schaumburg 5 and the Railcats 4 in 10 innings. That wraps things up on our game broadcast tonight from Alexian Field, but stay tuned. Railcats post-game coverage is ahead. We will recap this ball game, play you a number of the highlights of a very exciting contest. We'll tell you about the scores of other games around baseball, and we'll tell you about tonight's Railcats player of the game. We'll also look at what's coming up for the Railcats. Tonight, Schaumburg wins the opening game of this 3-game set. Flyers 5 and the Railcats 4. Stay tuned for post-game coverage from Alexian Field in Schaumburg. After this on the Railcats Radio Network, this is Railcats Baseball.
It's the domain of legends.
Gary South Shore Railcats baseball continues with the Railcats post-game show. From the ballpark, here's Alan Garrett.
From Alexian Field in Schaumburg, Illinois, welcome to Railcats post-game coverage for a Tuesday night. The Schaumburg Flyers defeating the Gary South Shore Railcats by the final score of 5-4 in 10 innings. And here's how tonight's game happened. Early on, a pitching duel between Railcats left-hander Tony O'Donnell and Schaumburg left-handed starter Joe Thomas. Thomas worked 3 scoreless innings, allowing 3 hits, 2 walks, and striking out 1. The Railcats had some base runners in the first 3 innings, but again, early on in this game, failed to deliver with men in scoring position. The Flyers did deliver with men in scoring position in the 3rd inning, after O'Donnell had given up 1 out extra base hits in innings 1 and 2 and gotten out of both innings unscathed. In the 3rd inning, he could not survive a leadoff double by Chris Olson, a 1-out walk to Rudy Gomez, and a 2-out walk to Brant Brown, loading the bases for Kirk Pierce, the Schaumburg catcher, and leading RBI man delivered a big blow to put the Flyers ahead early. The kick and the 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on, ground ball up the middle and through into center field. A base hit. Schaumburg leads as Olsen trots home. Gomez scores from second. Around to third goes Brown. A throw back to second. Bouncing away. Now another runner trying to score. As Brown scores from third, the Flyers lead 3-0. A 2-run single by Kirk Pierce, and then some poor defensive play by the Railcats. The Railcats making 2 really unwise throws, the one to third to get Brown, who clearly had third base with good base running on a ball dying on the wet outfield grass and going first to third on the 2-out single, and then a throw back to second in an effort to get the runner Pierce trying to move up on the throw toward third. That throw went awry as well, and it allowed Brown with alert base running to dash home and take a 3-0 lead for the Schaumburg Flyers. And of course, in a 1-run ball game, every run seemingly was critical. The Railcats not only gave that run away with some poor defensive play in the 3rd inning, they also lost the chance to score more than 3 runs in the 6th inning with a base running miscue. In the 6th inning, after the Railcats had base runners in each of the first 5 frames, but no runs scored against Joe Thomas and reliever Russ Morgan. Thomas starting tonight, but only working 3 innings and throwing just 49 pitches before he was removed in preparation for his start in 4 days' time against St. Paul here at Alexian Field in the start of the second half, the first series against St. Paul. So Thomas, whose start on Sunday had been postponed by rain, worked just 3 innings before giving way to Russ Morgan, who had originally been slated to start tonight's ball game. Morgan in the 6th inning yielded consecutive singles to Wes Chamberlain and Jason Hill to start the frame. Then Tim Flaherty doubled to center field, but the Railcats base runners got deked by the center fielder Mike Futrell, he acted as though he had made an over-the-shoulder Willie Mays-type catch running back toward the wall in center, when in fact the ball had bounced behind him and had short-hopped the wall. Wes Chamberlain and Jason Hill both got hung up between second and third bases. As a result, eventually Chamberlain was able to make it to third, but with Flaherty running hard behind the play, making it all the way to second, Hill was trapped with no place to go, with both a runner at third and a runner at second, so he went to third. The Flyers threw the ball to the catcher, Kurt Pierce, and let him make the decision. He went over and tagged both Chamberlain and Hill standing on third base. And, of course, under the rules, that base remains Chamberlain's until he advances to home. So Hill was the man called out, the extra man on third base. That proved to be a big first out of the inning, and it cost the Railcats a run when the next batter, Rene Pinto, doubled into the right field corner. Pinto, plating both Flaherty and Chamberlain, his 19th and 20th runs batted in, making it a 3-2 ball game. Pinto then stole third base after Christian Franco had been called out on strikes. Pinto stole third base as Phil Thompson batted, and that proved to be a big play because it made it easy for Pinto to score when Thompson delivered a base hit to tie the ball game. Paused by the left-hander, payoff pitch swung on, lined into left field. It drops in a base hit. This ball game tied as Rene Pinto trots home. The Railcats have knotted it up 3-3 on a 2-out run scoring single by Phil Thompson. Thompson with his 14th run batted in of the season, his 8th RBI with 2 outs in an inning, driving in the tying run to knot the game at 3. The game remained tied 3-3 going to the bottom of the 8th inning. At that point, Tony O'Donnell, the Railcats' left-handed starter, had been removed. O'Donnell, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned. He walked 4 and struck out 4. O'Donnell giving way to Benjamin Orr. Orr got the first out in the 8th, but then yielded consecutive 1-out singles to Mario Delgado, Brad Brown, and Kirk Pierce, the final base hit, giving Schaumburg their second lead of the ball game. The pause by Orr, and the pitch swung on, ground ball through the whole left side base hit. Delgado around third, headed for the plate. The left-hander Flaherty charging the ball, firing the throw through, not in time, bouncing off Pinto. Orr out of position to back up the deflected throw and chasing after it, and finally picking it up as the runners advance to second and third. An error was charged to Tim Flaherty on that play, allowing Brown to go to third and Kirk Pierce to second. The Flyers taking a 4-3 lead on the RBI single by Kirk Pierce, his 31st run batted in of the year. Orr, though, a great job to escape further trouble in that 8th inning. He struck out T.J. Staton on a 3-2 pitch. Staton looked at 3 called strikes after he had initially jumped ahead in the count 3-0, and after being called out on strike 3, he argued with home plate umpire Randy Hoback and was ejected from the ball game. Then Benjamin Orr got Josh Gray to ground out to the third baseman to end the inning and keep it a 1-run ball game. Railcats managed to tie the ball game in the top of the 9th inning when, with 1 out, Diggs Edwards, who to that point in the ball game had been 3 for 3, drew a 1-out 5-pitch walk from reliever Brett Weber. Weber then pitching to Clemente Bonilla, with Edwards, the runner, at first. Diggs Edwards trying to decide, should I stay? Should I go? He went, and that helped the Railcats tie the ball game. There goes Edwards. The pitch swung on, driven deep towards right field. That ball carrying towards the corner on the run. The right fielder, Gray, cannot catch up to it. It went off the wall. Edwards is around third, headed for the plate. He scores, standing up. Bonilla digging for third. The relay throw bouncing in, not in time. Safe for triple. Clemente Bonilla with an RBI triple into the right field corner. Diggs Edwards scores. He was running on the pitch. He scores all the way from first. The Railcats have tied the game at 4 on Bonilla's first extra base hit in a Railcats uniform. Bonilla also notching his first Railcats run batted in to tie the ball game on 4. Unfortunately, the Railcats a chance perhaps to score the eventual winning run right there. Bonilla at third. And less than 2 outs, but the Railcats could not get him in. Billy Brown hit a weak ground ball right back to the pitcher. And Wes Chamberlain fouled out to the catcher to end the 9th inning and leave Bonilla stranded at third base. In the bottom of the 9th, Benjamin Orr got into trouble but escaped thanks to some good defensive work behind him. With 1 out, he walked Chris Olson. Jeff McKellen fouled with a single to right. Olson going to third. Rudy Gomez was hit by a pitch to load the bases. The Railcats then got Mario Delgado, Schaumburg's leading hitter, to ground the ball slowly to the second baseman Edwards, who threw home for the forced play on Olson. The next batter, Brant Brown, then flies out to left field to end the threat and keep the game tied 4-4, sending us to extra innings. In the top of the 10th inning, the Railcats got the leadoff man.
Along with us as we reprise some of those earlier hymns of the church around the dinner table, or maybe on a Friday night, or maybe some people will want to sing as they're riding.
In favor of left-hander Benjamin Orr, will face Rudy Gomez, Mario Delgado, and Brant Brown. First pitch from Orr, swung on. Gomez fouls it back out of play to the right. It's 0-1. Rudy Gomez, triple and a walk today in 3 plate appearances. Waits the 0-1. Here it is from Orr. Swung on and skied to center field. Pretty well hit, but Brown tracking it. Drifts back and makes the catch. Gomez flies out to center. The ball is not carrying at all tonight here at Alexian Field. With that heavy mist continuing to blow in. If you've ever been down to the Phoenix area during the summer, you know, sometimes to keep you cool outside in the Phoenix area, in Tucson, some of the other warmer parts of the country, they'll put in a misting system. Looks better in the desert, of course. Try and keep you cool. That's what we have here tonight at the ballpark. Delgado swings and misses at the first pitch from Orr, strike 1. Mario Delgado 0 for 3 in the ballgame, batting .338 on the year. The 0-1 pitch swung on, ground ball through the whole right side, a base hit. Single to right for Delgado. Just the 6th hit, and it ends the stretch for Benjamin Orr. That'll bring up Brant Brown with a potential tie-breaking run on base. And 1 out here in the 8th inning. Score tied 3-3. Brown 0 for 2 with a walk today. Tony O'Donnell, 7 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, all earned. He walked 4 and struck out 4. Of those 4 walks, 2 came around to score in the 3rd inning. The pitch to Brown swung on, sliced foul, back out of play to the left. It's 0-1. Benjamin Orr making his 9th Railcats appearance, no wins or loss, and an 8.38 ERA. In 10 innings, he's allowed 13 hits, opponents batting .316 against him. The 0-1 pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Orr has walked 7, struck out 7 in 9 2/3 innings. Score tied 3-3 in the 8th. Brown, the left-handed batter, standing in. The 1-1 pitch, big, slow breaking ball high. 2 balls and a strike to Brant Brown. Brown stepped out for a moment. Now he stands back in, twirling that bat. 2-1 pitch, high with a fastball. 3 balls and a strike. O'Donnell giving way to Orr here in the 8th inning. Benjamin Orr, 6'1", 190 pounds. He's 24 years old. From La Mirada, California. 3-1 to Brant Brown, swung on and pulled foul down the right field line. And out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes. O'Donnell, the left-hander. And so Orr brought in because Flyers have 4 left-handed hitters in their lineup. 3-2 pitch. Brown swings. A line drive into center field. A base hit just beyond the outstretched reach of Diggs Edwards, going back into his right. Brown with a single to center field. Delgado moves up to second. So Orr gives up base hits to both left-handed batters. And now he'll have to face the right-handed hitting Kirk Pierce, who is single. Leaded all 3 Schoenberg runs in the 3rd inning, and who, with 2 runs batted in on that play, upped his total to a team-high 30 RBI. Benjamin Orr, the 3rd-year pro, receiving some counsel here. the Railcats catcher, Renee Pinto. Before Pinto takes up station behind home plate again. Pause by Orr, and the pitch swung on, ground ball through the hole, left side base hit. Delgado around third, headed for the plate. The left-hander Flaherty charging the ball, firing the throw through, not in time, bouncing off Pinto. Orr out of position to back up the deflected throw, and chasing after it, and finally picking it up as the runners advance to second and third. 4-3 Schomburg on 3 straight run-out base hits, all singles. Pierce with the RBI single, his 3rd run batted into the game. Driving in Delgado from second with that ball dying in the white grass in left field. Not much doubt that Andy McCauley was going to wave Delgado. And even a perfect throw would not have retired him. Brown goes to third and Pierce to second, likely on the throw. No error is going to be charged. TJ Staten, the batter. 1 for 3 in the game. Railcats infield drawn in. The first pitch to Staten is the ball inside, 1-0. They are going to give an error to Tim Flaherty, allowing the runners to advance to second and third here. First error by the Railcats tonight. The pitch high and inside. It's 2-0. That's a tough error on Flaherty because he made a good throw to the plate. It was on one hop, and Pinto just did not field it clean. If anyone, that error should be on the catcher for failing to field a good throw. Here's the 2-0 pitch. It is a ball outside, 3-0, but it's a tough error either way. 3-0 to Staten. Staten doubled his first time up. He slid to right, bounced out to second. A stretch by the left-hander, and the 3-0 pitch. Staten takes a strike call to the outside corner, 3-1. Pitching carefully here to Staten, although you got the right-handed hitting Gray on deck. Staten has been Schomburg's hottest hitter since he joined this Flyers ball club, with 32 hits in 86 at-bats. Works out to a .372 average since joining the club. 3-1 pitch is a breaking ball, a strike call to the outside corner. Staten takes strike 2, and now the count's full, 3-2. So Benjamin Orr, who really had not pitched particularly well in any of his previous 3 appearances, no decisions, all in Railcats losses, being tagged for 3 straight singles here in the 8th inning. An error on a play at the plate, moving runners to second and third. 3-2 pitch, or fastball, strike 3 call to the inside corner. Staten can't believe it, and he lets Randy Hoback know his displeasure. He's argued once, twice, now he turns back around, says something more to the home plate umpire. And Hoback is warning Staten that he better be careful or he will be removed from the ballgame. And that's it. There he goes. Staten said one last thing, and Hoback ejected him. As Staten said on his way back to the dugout. Now Staten coming over and getting right in the umpire's face. Andy McCauley trying to get between his slugger and the umpire. And now the third base umpire, Don Rager, also coming over. T.J. Staten visibly upset as he is called out on strikes on what admittedly were 2 very borderline pitches. The pitch that Orr threw on 3 balls and a strike was a breaking ball low and away. Pinto appeared to catch it within the framework of his body, but just barely nipped that front outside corner, if at all. And then the third strike was on the inside corner with a fastball, and it did appear as though Pinto had to reach to his right to get it. So Staten may have had an argument. However, you never win that argument, and it says right in the rule book, if you argue balls and strikes, you will be ejected from the game. And Staten will get the backwards K, and then right next to his name in the 8th inning, the word ejected written down as he's ejected from the game. So 2 outs, runners at second and third, and now the batter, Josh Gray. The pitch by Benjamin Orr, a breaking ball inside, 1-0. Railcats pitcher benefiting from the calls by Randy Hoback, who has had a pretty generous strike zone all night. The 1-0 from Orr, a fastball low and inside. Pinto faking a throw towards third, and Brett Brown, the runner at third, slipping as he scampers back to the bag, crawling back on all fours. Franco was not yet there to take any throw, so Pinto merely returned the ball to the pitcher. 2-0 to Gray. Mike Futrell on deck. 2 outs, runners at second and third. The pitch to the plate, swung on, little tap toward third. Charge again, Franco Fields will have to go across to first, but he makes an on-target and in-time throw to end the inning. So the Flyers only get a run on 3 hits, 1 error. The run is earned. 2 men are left on base. Orr, a nice job to get the strikeout and the ground ball and keep it a 1-run ball game after he yielded the go-ahead tally. We'll go to the 9th inning. The Railcats need a run to keep the game going. Trailing Schaumburg 4-3. This is Railcats baseball.
When it gets hot in the animal kingdom, you see different animals with some very different ways of staying cool. Elephants spray themselves with water and dirt. Dogs don't. And kangaroos, well, kangaroos drool on themselves. But for you and me, staying cool is easy with an Armstrong air conditioner. Every model Armstrong makes is built tough and tested for reliability before it leaves the factory, so you can count on it to run smooth and quiet all summer long, year after year. If you don't have Armstrong air conditioner, how are you going to stay cool? Armstrong Air. Straight you can rely on.
For all your heating and cooling needs, hit a home run with Tin Crafters Heating and Air Conditioning in Hobart. For a free estimate, call them at 219-947-5052, sales service and installation. In Highland, call Todco Incorporated for your free estimate at 219-682-7682, residential and commercial. A Railcats team party at Railcat Stadium, U.S. Steel Yard, is a great way to reward your baseball team for a season of hard work. The Railcats team party package includes a reserve seat ticket, hot dog, chips, and soft drink, and souvenir for every team member, as well as a chance to take the field with the Railcats. Congratulate your team on a fine season with the Railcats team party package for just $15 per person. Call the Railcats at 219-882-BALL or visit the Railcats website at railcatbaseball.com for more information.
Here we go to the top of the 9th inning at Alexian Field in Schaumburg. The Flyers lead 4-3 on a run-scoring single by Kirk Pierce, who has driven in 3 RBIs tonight, and as a result of Pierce base hits, all 4 Schaumburg runs have scored. 3 runs in the 3rd, 1 in the bottom of the 8th. Railcats scored their 3 runs in the 6th inning. It was Phil Thompson's 2-out run-scoring single that tied the ball game. Thompson to lead off here in the 9th inning against the 4th Schaumburg pitcher of the night. Right-hander Brett Weber takes over. Gave De Hoyos a chance to pick up a 3rd straight relief win as he pitched a scoreless 8th. Now the first pitch from Weber to Phil Thompson swung on and fouled away to the right, 1 strike. Brett Weber, a right-hander, 6'2", 185 pounds, from Mount Prospect here in the Chicago area. A 26-year-old right-hander who spent some time in the Yankees organization comes to the set. The kick, the pitch to Thompson, a fastball, strike called on the knees, outside corner. 0-2. Brett Weber, 1 win, 1 loss, a 164 earned run average. 15 appearances for the right-hander in 22 innings. He's allowed 21 hits, walked 8, and struck out 20. Here's the 0-2, a breaking ball, wasted away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Phil Thompson. The Schaumburg bullpen, one of their best assets. Flyers, when they get a lead late in the ball game, can protect it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It is a ball low, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. You look at the final counts in the games between these 2 teams this year. Schaumburg and the Railcats split 2 extra inning ball games to start. Schaumburg broke open a game late to win 7-4. 2-2 pitch. Thompson swings, ground ball, diving flag down by the second baseman. Gomez diving to his left, fires to first in time. He got him. A terrific play by Rudy Gomez on a sharply hit ball to the right side. Gomez cutting it off and firing over to first to retire Phil Thompson, keeping the leadoff man on base. So critical in a one-run ball game in the ninth. One out, and Diggs Edwards, the batter. Edwards is 3 for 3 today. He has singled 3 times, and that has brought his average up to 351. No homers, 11 runs, bad but in. A stretch, kick, and delivery to the plate. A fastball swung on sky down the left field line, slicing into foul ground. Long run for the left fielder, but the ball bounces onto the seating berm. A foul strike, it's 0-1. Out there in left field now, that is Mike Futrell, who actually is listed as a backup catcher on the Schaumburg roster. He is in left now for TJ Staten, who, remember, was ejected from the ball game. Flyers also have a new center fielder, of course. The wind and the pitch by Weber is a ball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike to Diggs Edwards. I believe that might be B.J. Garrison out there in center. The pitch to Edwards is a ball inside, 2 balls and a strike. Garrison, the one outfielder left on the bench for the Flyers before that Staten ejection. Weber to the set. Here's the 2-1 to Edwards. He shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and takes the ball low. 3 balls and a strike to Diggs Edwards. Clemente Bonilla on deck. Billy Brown in the hole. Then back to the heart of the order if it gets that far. 3-1 pitch is outside, ball 4. Edwards tosses the bat aside and sprints to first after drawing a 1-out walk from Brett Weber. So Edwards reaches base 4 times tonight. Now Clemente Bonilla, the hitter. Bonilla is hitless in 3 at-bats today with 1 walk. So far as a Railcat, 1 out of 8. Bonilla turns around. Kill bat from the left side here against the right-hander Weber. Weber to the set, kicks and fires. Bonilla takes a ball high, and it's 1-0. Bonilla gripping that bat barehanded, choking up a little bit. You can see about an inch or 2 of the knob. Throw over to first, and Edwards back safely. Here's a situation where, of course, Diggs Edwards has to balance the need to get to scoring position with the need to stay alive. Only 2 precious outs left. There goes Edwards. The pitch swung on, driven deep towards right field. That ball carrying towards the corner on the run. The right fielder, Gray, cannot catch up to it. It went off the wall. Edwards is around third, headed for the plate. He scores standing up. Bonilla digging for third. The relay throw bouncing in, not in time. Save for triple. Wow. Clemente Bonilla with an RBI triple into the right field corner. Diggs Edwards scores. He was running on the pitch. He scores all the way from first. The Railcats have tied the game at 4 on Bonilla's first extra base hit in a Railcats uniform. Now Bonilla represents the go-ahead run at third with only 1 out in the 9th inning. And Billy Brown, the batter. Brown coming to the plate tonight. He is 0 for 4. He's grounded out 3 times, been called out on strikes, and has flied to right field. Batting average down to 293. The first pitch is a ball high, 1 ball and no strikes to Billy Brown. Clemente Bonilla's triple into the right field corner, tying the ball game 4-4. Now Bonilla, not a big lead at third. The stretch by the right-hander Weber and the 1-0. Brown swings, a ground ball foul wide of the bag at first. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Railcats, sensing a chance to turn this game around in the 9th inning, have right-hander Benji Miller getting loose in the left field bullpen. No one warming for Schaumburg down the right field side. Billy Brown is due to deliver only one hit in his last 11 at-bats with men in scoring position. Deals here. It's a ground ball right back to the mound. Fielded by the pitcher Weber. Looks the runner back to third. Fires on to first in time. Brown, all he had to do was to try and get the ball in the air. Of course, that's easier said than done. Good work by Brett Weber to keep the ball down in the strike zone and get Brown out on a comeback or a slow roller back to the mound. 2 outs. Bonilla still at third. And the batter, Wes Chamberlain. Chamberlain, 2 hits and 4 at-bats tonight. The Railcats RBI leader. The pitch to Chamberlain, a fastball, strike called on the outside corner. It's 0-1. Chamberlain has singled to right field and singled to left. Leadoff single in the 6th inning. They'll start a 6-hit Railcats rally. Chamberlain scored the first Railcats run in that inning. The 0-1 pitch to West Chamberlain, a fastball high, backing Chamberlain slightly out of the way. Of course, the 37-year-old veteran, not intimidated at all. He just moved back rather than jumping back reflexively. 1 ball, 1 strike. Weber to the set. Chamberlain standing right on top of the plate. The 1-1 pitch swung on, popped up off the bat handle right side. Could be playable for the catcher. Coming over, the catcher Pierce leans out and makes a basket catch right in front of the Schaumburg dugout to retire Chamberlain and end the inning. But the Railcats rally for a tying run on a 1-out walk to Diggs Edwards and an RBI triple by Clemente Bonilla. A run, 1 hit, 1 man left. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Score tied, Railcats 4 and Schaumburg 4. This is Railcats baseball.
Families in Florida prepare themselves for the hurricane season. Families in California prepare themselves for earthquakes. Every family in America should prepare itself for a terrorist attack.
This is a message from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, recorded by Secretary Tom Ridge. The topic, what you can do.
Not all Americans go to work every day in a department or a job
I'm
to help
just gonna
secure
move
the
it.
country. We're not going to ask them to do that. We're going to ask them to do some simple things, like creating an emergency kit, a good communications plan. People might think it's insignificant, but if you take the time to develop that communication plan, to make that emergency supply kit, you have helped prepare America in the unlikely but still possible event that something could happen.
Learn to be prepared at www.ready.gov or call for a free brochure. 1-800-BE-READY. That's 1-800-237-3239. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Pop quiz. Your teen is going to a party with lollipops, a pacifier, and toy angel wings. You think she...
.org.
Here we go to the bottom of the ninth inning at Alexian Field in Schaumburg. Railcats and the Schaumburg Flyers are tied up 4-4 as right-handed batting backup catcher slash center fielder slash left fielder Mike Futrell leads off for the Flyers here in the ninth against left-hander Benjamin Orr. The wind and the pitch. It is a backdoor breaking ball for a strike call. 0-1. Orr into the wind and the 0-1 to Futrell. Breaking ball swung on and pulled foul left side. 0-2. Futrell 0 for 3. Chris Olson to follow, and then Jeff McCallum 8-9-1 in the batting order. In a 4-4 game of the ninth as Benjamin Orr tries to send it to extra innings. Here's the wind and the 0-2 pitch. A fastball low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Futrell hitless in 3 trips today, and that's dropped his average below the so-called Mendoza line, below 200. The wind by the left-hander and the 1-2 pitch. Big breaking ball. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Orr dropping the hammer on Mike Futrell for his second strikeout. After yielding 3 straight singles, producing a tie-breaking run in the 8th. Now Orr has retired 3 in a row. The guy who has not been retired by Railcats pitching tonight, Chris Olson, comes to the plate. Olson batting .333. 9 hits in 27 at-bats, including 2 for 2 with a walk and a run scored today. He takes a fastball high and outside from Benjamin Orr, ball 1. Orr, the left-hander from Biola College, standing tall on the mound, getting his sign, now reaching into the glove, an over-the-head wind-up, leg kick, plant, fire, fastball, high and away, ball 2. 2-0 to Chris Olson. Railcats have out-hit the Flyers 11-8. Game tied 4-4. Bottom of the 9th inning. The 2-0 pitch is a ball high. It's 3-0 to Olson. Credit the Railcats with good work to get the game tied in the top of the 9th, but they failed to convert the runner at third and less than 2-out situation. Clemente Bonilla stranded at third. 3-0 pitch, low and inside, ball 4. Olson walks for the second time today. Tipped walk issued by a Railcats pitcher in this game. That'll bring up Jeff McCallum, the shortstop. McCallum, 0 for 4 today. He slid to center, popped to short, and grounded out twice. Twice he has grounded into double plays to end innings. He did that in the 4th and again in the 7th. 1 out runner at first, leading away Olson. The kick and pitch, a breaking ball missing inside, ball 1 to McCallum. Benjamin Orr in his career, only 1 win against 4 losses. Did record 8 saves in his first 2 pro seasons. The 1-0 pitch is high for a ball, 2-0, so he knows something about pitching under pressure. First year in pro ball, he was with the Cubs organization with Boise and Daytona. Last year he was in the Frontier and Western Leagues. A stretch and a 2-0 throw over to first, and the runner back safely. Benjamin Orr taking the ball back from Wes Chamberlain. He stands out on the mound. He holds the ball behind his waist, then puts it in the glove, comes to the set, deals to the plate. The 2-0 pitch swung on, ripped through the hole, right side, a base hit. Thompson charging it, runner cutting the bag at second. Olson going to third. The throw to third on 1 hop. Quick tag, but the throw not in time. Franco keeping the tag on the runner Olson as he tumbles over at third base. And the Railcats are going to argue that at one point Olson came off the bag and that Franco, holding the ball on him, had tagged him out. Gary Templeton out of the dugout to argue with home plate umpire Randy Hoback. Meanwhile, the Schaumburg trainer, Mike Hickey, comes out of the dugout. He just wants to make sure that Olson's okay, going first to third on the single. McCallum with a base hit. Of course, the Railcats trying to keep that runner off third base with 1 out. Now the Flyers, with their toughest hitters coming to the plate, a great chance to win the ball game right here. Runner at third, less than 2 outs that the Flyers can do here, but the Railcats could not in the top of the inning, and then drive in the runner at third with 1 out with a fly ball. They can win the ball game. Gary Templeton is going to convene a meeting out on the mound here. He's going to draw in all 4 infielders. Franco, the third baseman, shortstop Bonilla, second baseman Edwards, and first baseman Chamberlain. And he's also going to draw in the catcher, Rene Pinto. And, of course, the pitcher, Benjamin Orr, stays out there on the mound, too. He wants all of the infielders to know exactly what they are going to do with the ball, in what situation. He likely is reminding the infielders to watch out for the squeeze play here. Rudy Gomez, the second baseman, set to be the batter. Gomez tripled in the first inning, walked and scored in the third. He's flied out in each of his last 2 at-bats. Railcats outfielders will move in here a little bit because, of course, a deep fly ball likely scores Olson from third. Here's the stretch by Orr, and the pitch. It is a breaking ball, high and outside, ball 1, 1-0. The first
baseman Chamberlain holds the runner. McCallum at first trying to keep the double play in order. Franco plays even with the bag at third. Bonilla is in, guarding the middle of the diamond at shortstop, and Edwards in and guarding the middle at second. The 1-0 pitch swung on and popped up foul out of play to the right. A ball and a strike to Rudy Gomez. Score tied 4-4 in the bottom of the ninth inning. Schaumburg scored in the eighth to break a 3-all tie. Railcats got around the top of the ninth to knot it again.